Welcome into episode 27 of Ramie and Drew live after a 111-99 Bucks victory in Charlotte tonight. I am Ramie Makloff. That right there is Drew Flaggy, who you can catch Friday and Saturday at the Laughing Tap, laughingtap.com. For tickets, we're just a couple Milwaukee-based comedians. We talk sports and other bullshit and whatever comes across our minds. And usually, at least these days, Drew, it's the Bucks. And here is another. I mean, it got a little interesting at the end. I know you missed it. I don't know if you want to, but I know you missed a little bit of the end there.
Guys, everybody that's listening to this, and I know it's mostly dudes, you go to the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom. I missed probably the most interesting part of the game, which is somehow the end of the game. All right, I had to go to the bathroom. I've been drinking a lot of water. I don't eat right. I had to go to the bathroom.
Well, what you missed was the Hornets making it a 10-point game. I think a 9-point game at one point, if I'm not mistaken. I think they got it within single digits after the Bucks were up by, I don't know what their biggest lead was at some point in this game. But I wasn't worried about it really, Drew. I wasn't. It was another, as far as I'm concerned, easy win. Matter of fact, I was texting you, why is Giannis still in this game with 5+ minutes left when they were up by 20 points? You know what I mean? And this is good. Easy, boring wins are good for the Milwaukee Bucks, right? I hope they're boring as fuck for the rest of this season, dude. I hope they don't give us. I hope we have to dig deep to find things to talk about when it comes to the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm very, very happy with the way things have gone the past couple nights and really since the All-Star break.
Yeah, it's been great. I got really no complaints. Even like what did Lillard finish with? What last time I checked, he was 3 for 10.
5 for 14, 3 of 6 from 3.
Okay.
And 17 points.
This is the kind of game that, okay, like I always talk about his efficiency, whatever. The shots he was taking tonight were very good shots. I don't think he took a bad shot all night.
Yeah.
Because he kind of missed them. Fine. Whatever. It's good. It's against Charlotte. It's not going to kill us in the grand scheme of things. He looks like he's playing with a lot more intention to score than to draw fouls. That's kind of all you can really ask out of him. I thought he played a really good game defensively tonight. Yeah, Charlotte.
Dude, they had at the end of this game over there on Bally Sports, they had a Dame Lillard highlight reel run in during the fourth. I know you were pooping at the time, but they ran a Dame Lillard highlight reel in there of him getting in the passing lanes, using the quickness. He had, I don't know, how many steals did he finish with tonight? He had 2 steals tonight. I thought it was more than that. The highlight reel had more than 2 steals in it from what I saw.
They called a foul on that one that looked pretty damn clean, where he reached through, like he reached across the dude. That was, I thought it looked clean. Hell, I thought Pat Connaughton had a block. Flyby block. I don't know what they looked at and said that I don't know where they said that he hit him.
Yeah.
But come on, that was gross.
They grazed forearms. I think their forearm hairs touched.
Oh boy. It's like the whole thing where it's like the guy's out even if like the lace of the glove touches him. Like, man, all right, like foul's a foul. These refs,
that's one of those, where you go, I guess a foul's a foul, and you roll your fucking eyes.
Yeah, the refs are, they're trying to keep I got to keep it consistent, otherwise I don't get to ref in the postseason. All right, fine. I'm not gonna cry too much about beating Charlotte when we beat the shit out of them, 2 nights ago, and then we had a pretty easy win again. Came out of the gate playing well. When you texted me, why is Giannis still in there? I'm like, I seriously think it was stat padding to be like, get him to 30 points. So he can
get his 30. No, he finished with 24 again. I feel like I'm looking at the same box score that I looked at 2 nights ago in their game against Charlotte.
Yeah, he missed 2 shots at the rim and then he was out. He probably got shoved a little bit too. Foul's not a foul all the time, guys.
Yeah, apparently if you graze a guy's forearm on a 3-point shot, that's fine. If you're Giannis and you go up and guys are hanging off you like a jungle gym, that's not a foul. That's allowed.
No, you can't just let guys like Giannis go. Actually, I was gonna say you can't let guys like Giannis go walking through the lane like that. But did you see when Grant Williams tried to take a charge earlier? That was your
Yes.
favorite player, Grant Williams, and Giannis just sidestepped him so casually. Like I think Giannis said "excuse me" on the way through. Like Grant Williams, he like stood there. He tried to do like a Kevin Love special and just be like, "Ah, you're gonna run into me." And then Giannis was like, "No, excuse me," and just like went around him.
I told you
And
before,
slammed it. Like,
your Giannis impression is not good.
I don't care. You know who is good? Giannis. Giannis is good.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I don't think your impression does him justice. That's what I'm saying. That's
We
all
get
that I'm
to
saying.
what we get to do is we get to complain about Giannis not scoring 30 points tonight. That's a good night for being a Bucks fan.
But he only played, and I mean, we're not complaining for those who aren't picking up the sarcasm that we're laying on here. He played how many minutes did he play? He only played 33 minutes, like which is a good thing. Honestly, that's too much. That's why I texted you. He probably should have played like, I don't know, 30 minutes, 29, 30 minutes at the end of the day. This game was never really within reach. And I know the Hornets made it close at the end, but this game was a beatdown from start to finish. It's been a beatdown start to finish for 8 straight quarters between these two teams.
Yeah. Like I said, the Giannis thing, I really want him. At this point, I know we're done talking about the MVP shit. Like we're done. He's not going to get it. They're not going to give it to him. They're looking for every.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think he might.
Okay.
I think at some point, I think at some point, I know you hate this word, the consistency of Giannis's numbers and the way he fills up box scores, if they stay this, and I say this in the best way possible, if they stay this boring and keep winning games and they're, the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference and Giannis is just stuffing the stat box every night, I think eventually people have to take notice. But you might be right.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he would have to do something crazy, and even like doing the thing that Wilt Chamberlain never did. Honestly, I when they're like, "Do you want to look back at this time in history?" I was thinking about this all day long because I was looking forward to watching this game, and I was thinking about the last game. Okay, he didn't score 30, he did shoot above 60%. Did you see that in February? He shot 65% from the floor. That's crazy.
It's ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
So
ridiculous person.
What I wanted Giannis to do is I was like, today, I'm like, I just want to see him score like 31, 32, just keep the needle moving in the right direction there for the getting over the 30 points. I don't think the 60% from the floor is going to be an issue for him. I think it's going to be, we're going to blow some teams out here and there. It's like maybe he dips below 30 points per game, and then he doesn't get that record, because I was thinking about this whole thing of, the Embiid narrative last year, where it's like, do you want to live in a time when Joel Embiid, and like that's how that's going to be, that's how that MVP is going to be remembered. The gift, it's like it's his turn. You know what? I hope it's Jason Tatum's turn. And then when you look back 20 years from now at this season, be like, oh, Jason Tatum, he had an MVP. And they're like, yeah, and you know what Giannis did? He did something Wilt Chamberlain never fucking did that season, and we gave it to Jason Tatum. Give it to Jason Tatum.
I don't think Jason Tatum is legitimately in the MVP conversation. As hard as some people have been trying to push him into it, I don't think he really, I'm going to give NBA writers enough credit to say that I don't think he's legitimately in it. I think at this point, it's between Jokic, SGA, and Giannis. I might be wrong, but I think it's between those 3 guys.
And I think they might even be reluctant to give it to SGA because this is his 3rd year. I do. Did you see the new one that they're trying to push around with the Celtics?
No.
Dick White, Defensive Player of the Year.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
He has 59 blocks. Giannis has 58. That's like they are, dude. They are obsessed with us. They are literally obsessed with the Bucks. Oh my God. OMG. They can't stop talking about us. It's just every single time.
Derek White is not the Defensive Player of the Year in any multiverse, man. That's not
Marcus Smart Defensive Player of the Year.
I mean, no, but I could like No, but it was obviously Drew Holiday. But I to me, but I can see like you could make the case where I go, okay, I guess. But no, and on no planet is Derek White the defensive player of the year.
You know how like when a dog bites like a child and it gets a taste for blood and you got to put the dog down? That's what all this shit with the Celtics are. It's just like they got a taste for blood because Marcus Smart and his dumb fuck green hair that now he can't wash it out and he plays for a team that his hair doesn't match. And you got Marcus Smart out there winning a defensive player of the year. And now these dipshit dogs that have a taste for man flesh, like they're goddamn Urukai, are out there being like, and now Derek White. Now Derek White. Have you ever seen Lord of the Rings? The Urukai, they're going to taste man flesh.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
They're like the big orcs that are scarier.
Yeah, I remember. I remember I remember now.
Sorry,
Thank you.
There's the Rings reference on our Bucks/comedy podcast.
Yeah, you're really asking a lot of the people out there on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook watching live right now.
I'm
asking listening later on Spotify and Apple.
It's a 20-year-old movie at this point.
Yeah, it's a 20-year-old nerd movie, and you're on a sports and comedy podcast. Like and I don't say that in a derogatory way. It's a nerd movie. It's based on nerd novels about wizards and fucking orcs and shit. You know what I mean? Elves and fucking hobbits.
It's not like fucking Harry Potter. It's not like lame wizards.
And still nerd shit.
Fucking preteen.
It's all nerd shit. Don't act like you're better than Harry Potter. Don't act like you're better than Harry Potter fans. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan, you're not. And I am a Lord of the Rings fan. I like the movies, but don't act like we're any better than Harry Potter people.
Gandalf is like Brooke Lopez. He's just a cranky guy.
And he's like, you shall not pass.
Yeah.
Only it's the rim.
Well, Bobby Portis is more like that, where he's like, I will not pass. But he did tonight. He did pass tonight. I saw it. He had a couple assists.
He had a really good night.
What did he finish with? 2 assists?
He had a really good night. I will get back to the box score in a second, but I pulled up Giannis's numbers when you were talking about it, and the 30 point 60% field goal percentage thing that you were talking about. That was nice by us to loop back around like that. He's right now at 30.7 points per game and 61.6% field goal percentage. So he's pretty comfortably above both. Like it's not too comfortable, but he's pretty comfortably above both. But you asked about Bobby. In 28 minutes, he had let's see here, 14 points. Also, you asked about assists. He had 4 assists, 10 rebounds. Really good game for Bobby. Yeah,
good. I know. I clocked 2 of them right away. I didn't know if there was something else. Oh man, there was one sequence that I really liked. It was the pick and roll with Dame and Giannis, and then Giannis found Bobby under the basket, and Bobby kicked it out to Beasley, and he hit a 3. Dude, that was like what? That was like a great hockey assist. That was really cool to see, like the pick and roll just absolutely clicking with those guys.
Yeah,
that was really nice. That was super encouraging. I know it's Charlotte and they're crappy, but that was cool to see how open they could get somebody, and even Giannis and Dame not having to be the guys to score on that pick and roll, but to find a cutting Bobby, and then Bobby to like have the awareness to fire that ball out to Beasley, and then Beasley knocked it down because did Beasley have 5 threes tonight?
The Bees, how many threes?
He had 19 points. 3-pointers.
He was 5 of 9 from 3.
Okay, so that's why they showed the graphic that this was his 15th time this season's making 5 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
That rules. That was a good night. There's not a lot.
It was a very good night. And you brought up Bobby. I told you his whole stat line: 24, 10, and 5. I said the bench tonight, Drew, and that was a major problem and concern for this Bucks team when they were struggling under Adrian Griffin. And most of this was Bobby. And I'll put the grain of salt on it of it's the Hornets and they suck, which you just did a minute ago. But if I'm counting correctly here tonight, From their bench, they got 16. Oh man, I should have learned 35 points. 35 points, if my math is correct. I was told never to do math live by Tim Allen a long time ago, working with him on the Brewers post game show. But if my math is correct, 35 points from the bench tonight, which is great, man. And you're gonna need that. These are all the things that we talked about them struggling with in the first half, and that I told people to chill the fuck out about, is being addressed, and we're seeing it get better for this Bucks team here in the second half. Dame, the bench, specifically Bobby, Brooks' place and everything. Get to the defense in a second, but like you're seeing everything addressed by this team without going out and making the big move. Like, yeah, they got Pat Bev, and I think that's part of what's helped this thing around, but they're addressing all the problems and checking off all the boxes one by one as the second half gets underway here.
And just like I said, when I talked to a couple people, and they were still like, yeah, but like the Indiana thing where it's like they beat us 4 out of 5 times. I'm like, man, you got to write off the entire beginning of the season now. Like, up until Doc Rivers took over, this is more a true form of what this team is. Like, yeah. I wouldn't even say that they're a finished product now, but they are a vastly different product than what they were under Griffin.
Oh yeah.
So much more organized. The ball moves so much better. Did you ever end up reading the Athletic article that we never got around to?
No, I didn't.
So there was something in there.
Sorry, Eric Name. I'm sorry. I meant to. I just haven't.
So I got to paraphrase it because I don't exactly remember the wording of it, because one of my other friends who has the Athletic sent me the thing, and I can't pull it up on my phone now while I'm doing this. Giannis was like drawing up plays and shit in practice when Griffin was the coach. Like, Giannis was like conducting parts of the practice, is the way it sounds. That's insane. And it's like, and then so like, remember that, go back to that Detroit game that were like Thanasis and Dame were sitting next to him, and he was like drawing up a play. Like, he asked for like a pen and paper and like a trapper keeper writing. It's like, oh, he's coaching now. Like, we already have 100 coaches on the staff, and now Giannis is coaching. Thanasis is the assistant GM. It's like, what the hell? Like, these guys are Jackie Moon out here. Is that a nerd movie too? Because it's Will Ferrell.
No, okay. But it's kind of a deep cut. I don't know how many people know how good. Geez, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the movie now. Drew, what is the name? What is the name of the guy? Huh?
It's Semi-Pro.
Semi-Pro. I'm sorry, I don't know, but yeah, I don't know if, and which I apparently myself too. I don't know if enough people know how good that movie is, but it is a great fucking movie. I love that movie, even though I just forgot the name of it.
Yeah. Kristen Wiig's in it. Woody Harrelson.
Oh yeah, she is, isn't she?
She's the bear. She is. She's the bear tamer, and like when he's promoting, and the bear gets up, and he yells, "It's like filled with bears."
Did you know that that's loosely based on true events?
Yeah.
Very loosely based on true events, but loosely based on true events.
There was an ABA.
Yes, there was.
And that's pretty much like the 76ers, the Spurs, like those that existed.
No, there was more than that. There were other things that they borrowed, like the stunts and shit that they do at halftime. I don't know if there was ever a bear, but they would do like wild stunts and shit like that to try and draw crowds, which they do now at hockey games,
which is awesome.
Like minor league hockey games and minor league baseball games.
Dude, okay, I went to a minor league hockey. I went to an Admirals game one time because I knew Dropkick Murphys was playing afterwards. I'm not Irish.
Nobody said you were,
but I went to a bagpipe rock band from Boston. I went to go see the shipping up.
You said that. You said that like you were denying accusations. First of all, it's fine if you are. No, like it's totally fine if you are Irish. And secondly, nobody said anything about you being Irish.
No, but like I can see how people would probably want to make the comparison. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, he's Irish because he went to go see Dropkick Murphys," and I'm like, "Nope, I'm not. I'm German and Polish."
Your facial hair looks a little red, and you are you're wearing your hat right now like a guy who would go to a Dropkick Murphys concert.
Oh, an indoor winter hat because my hair is too long. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, up high a little bit. It's a little up high.
Well, it's because I got a big fat Irish moon face. And it's
Okay.
my God, if I didn't have any sense, if I didn't have any common sense, I'd be a Celtics fan, honestly. But I got sense. You know what, dude? I'm gonna go to my fridge. I'm gonna go get a Sam Adams, and I'm gonna start being like, I think Derek White is Defensive Player of the Year.
You don't you don't have to be a Celtics fan because you're Irish. I'm sure there are plenty of Irish people watching and listening to this show right now that are from Milwaukee and are Bucks fans. It's not,
I'm gonna go stick a fist through my drywall and see if I can find some cabbage.
This show has gotten very derailed. Very, very derailed.
Oh, what? Now we can't even make fun. Is comedy dead? Can we not make fun of the Irish? Is this where we're at? Is this peak wokeness? Has wokeness gone too far?
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
You're just what? Can we talk about the Bucks again though?
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring up one more thing, man. And I asked you last night, like, when can we say that this defensive turnaround is for real? This is another game holding a team under 100 points. And I don't know.
What the fuck? Like, why would you spell it like that? Doc's D still good. What the fuck? I make fun of the Irish, and then you're up here making dick jokes? This makes it sound like he's got a problem. Like, dude, I swear to God, if he gets technical, if he's like arguing with a ref, but he kind of is like, whatever, man, you better put Doc low T up there because he didn't get all fired up. Like, you're gonna put Doc Rivers low T.
I was wondering how long.
What are we trying to get sponsored by here? Okay, I'm not allowed to name drop bars that I go to, but we're gonna get sponsored by fucking Cialis. Hey, Cialis, you want to sponsor the Ramie and Drew show? Because you know what, Doc Rivers, he might be a little up there in age, but Doc's D is still good, man. Is your head coach slouching a little too much these days? Cialis, because Doc's D is still good. Don't trust me. Trust the expert, like Frank Thomas, because he does ones too. It's like Frank Thomas, right? It's him and Dan Marino.
And she's gonna like it too.
This is on the golf course. Hey, Doc, I heard your D is nice and solid.
When I made that before we started the show, that banner there. I was like, I wonder how long I'll be able to hold it together and how long it'll take Drew to say something. And the answer was 1 second, like 1 second flat before this show was completely. And by the way, we were derailed before. We were derailed before that, and you just further derailed the show.
Doc's D is still good. That's like if you like, okay, when I make chili and it's in the fridge and it's like 4 days out after I made a fresh batch of chili, and I'm like, is it still good? I'm like, yeah, it's still good. It's not great. It's not as good as the day of. It's not in its prime anymore.
I should explain for the people who are going to listen to this later on Apple and Spotify. They don't have the visual. There's a banner going across the bottom of the screen right now on the live stream that says Doc's D is still good. About the defense. I'm talking about the defense, though, right, Drew, right. And holding another team under 100 points. I don't know what you thought I was talking about, but I was talking about the defense and holding another team under 100 points. At what point do we say that Doc's D is for real?
Yeah. Doc's D is solid. Doc's D is tough. Doc's D lasts all 48 minutes. Doc's D doesn't take plays off. Can we get? I want to. Okay, we got to get on Cameo. Doc Rivers has to be on Cameo, and I just want to get. We're gonna pay him. We're gonna pay Doc Rivers, and trust me, I'm a doctor. That's what I want. That's what I want Doc Rivers for Cialis.
Can we not? Am I? Are you not going to be able to answer the question? Did I completely?
Yeah, they held the Charlotte Hornets under 100 points again. Yeah. Yeah, the defense is fantastic. We said Damian Lillard was jumping passing lanes. He had kills tonight. Like Malik Beasley, consistently a menace in transition. They're not giving up transition buckets. Their defense is good. It's really good, and it's really consistent.
So 6 out of the last 8 games, they've held teams under 100 points now.
And we did it once under Griffin, and it was Charlotte, who were just as bad. Oh, speaking of just real strong D, did you see Grant Williams and his fake tough guy shit try to like punk Giannis? It was like really
no.
They were down.
I think
by
I
like
missed
20.
that. I was making pulled pork shredded tacos.
Yeah, he like hooked Giannis's arm and kind of like pumped his chest at Giannis, and Giannis was like, "The fuck!" Like it was just. I didn't do my Giannis impression there.
I can't take Grant Williams seriously, and Draymond Green says a lot of nonsense. You know what I mean? But he was right when he was talking about Grant Williams, and he was like, he needs to cut this tough guy act. Like it's not working for him. He's a nice guy. He literally said that about Grant Williams. He was like, he's a nice guy, and this whole tough guy act is not working for him.
But like Draymond Green calling somebody a nice guy, that guy he's out of his mind too. Like I don't think that Draymond Green is the greatest judge of character out there.
No, but that doesn't mean he can't be right
on the court. Like that guy he's nuts. His like when you listen to him on a podcast, you're like, yeah, he seems like a pretty insightful dude. He seems like a really smart guy. Then he goes onto the court and he just, I don't know, man. He's like Dr. Jekyll and Draymond Green. Guys, what the fuck?
Yeah, like it does crack me up how like the entire NBA media will be like, man, this guy is a menace. Like he is unstable out there. He's unhinged. He's a danger to other players that are out there on the court with him. And then like All-Star break rolls around. They're like, but he's going to be a great broadcaster when he's done doing this. He is going to be really, really good at a desk somewhere.
Didn't he like he got didn't like somebody say like Shaq or no, Chuck said something to him. And like he started like ring counting at Chuck, and it's like, okay, yeah, Charles Barkley never won a championship, but don't fucking act like you were the guy that won that championship, Dre. You were a key part. But I mean, Steph and Clay and KD, pretty integral to that shit, man.
And also, he played at the same time as Michael Jordan. Like a lot of great players didn't. Michael Jordan was kind enough to step aside and let Hakeem Olajuwon get a couple, and Clyde Drexler before he came back and snatched up 3 more. Like a lot of great players weren't winning rings in that decade because one guy was.
Do we want to look back at that moment in history though and really say Charles Barkley never got a championship?
Yeah, he didn't.
Well,
why? What are you referring to?
Point in case. Lawyered. Boom. I just lawyered your ass. Joel Embiid.
What?
I don't know.
What do you mean? What are you talking about? I'm so confused right now.
That's it. I'm just out here hating right now.
All right. I did have one more Bucks thing I wanted to bring up. I don't know if you saw I don't know if you heard the comments by oh geez, man, what is wrong with my brain tonight? The Bucks play-by-play announcer. Jesus Christ. No, the play-by-play.
Lisa Byington?
Lisa Byington. Yes. She said that they were talking to how in the fuck am I forgetting these names tonight? But she was talking about how they were talking with Bobby Portis. I almost forgot Bobby Portis's name for a second there. And he said like that this team since the All-Star break has been like drama-free, and he said and not paying attention to the headlines that and all the noise that was out there in terms of the Bucks. And what that says to me, like sometimes it's not what you're saying, it's what you're not saying. He's telling us all that they were paying attention to that stuff before the All-Star break and before Doc Rivers came in and kind of said, hey, we need to keep it to what's going on in here and talk to each other less than when and Doc Rivers was talking a lot after he first got the job. So I don't know if he's the one to be delivering that message necessarily, but it seems like there's a lot more communication happening within the Bucks and listening to what's going on inside of the building and less listening and talking to people outside of the building. And I think that's exactly what this team needs, the way that the first half went.
Do you think that a part of that not only is like them just kind of getting a system they could all buy into that's probably a little bit more digestible for a bunch of veteran players? Do you think there's a part of that? And then also bringing in like Pat Beverly, because I mean, man, that guy, like we've already said on here, he's so much of a team first guy. And I mean, he really, especially his minutes when he's like the primary ball handler and stuff, he really is looking to help his guys succeed, and maybe just having another veteran presence in there that just tells everybody, to calm down and just focus up. And, it gets old when it's the same guy over and over again. And maybe just that little injection of a different personality, maybe that helped them a little bit too.
Could be. That very well could be. But also Pat Bev is a guy who has his own podcast. So yeah. I don't know if he's going to talk. And I guarantee you at some point before all is said and done this season, and I don't know, Pat Bev is probably on a 1-year contract, right? He's probably a free agent after this year. I was going to say, and maybe beyond this season. But for between now and the end of this season, however it ends, Pat Bev is going to say something on that podcast that's going to make headlines and that people around the NBA are going to talk about. He's just that type of dude, and he's doing a day. Is it daily? It's a couple times a week, at least. I know that the Pat Bev pod comes out. So he's going to say something that people are going to be talking about.
Well, I think some people were already talking about that, where he talked about Giannis's leadership. Like, he did talk about that. It was yesterday, and about how Giannis is super vocal with all of them. So, like, that just kind of dispels anything of, like, is Giannis a leader? Is that, like, Giannis, everything he's said in the offseason, about, wanting to win and stuff. And then the year that he's putting together and just the effort level that he puts in every single night. And I mean, he plays damn near every game. Like, he's backed up every single thing he's asked for and then demanded of the team by being the best player on that team as well. Like, he's not asking people to play well so he can take a back seat. Like, he still is assertive force out there. So, I mean, Pat Beverly did say it wasn't a negative thing, but like, I saw that going around a lot on Twitter and a couple things in like some Facebook groups where people were all starting to clip that whole thing Pat Beverly had to say about Giannis's leadership. So that's too, like, it just, he could say something and it could kind of be like headline news, but it also might be positive.
Yeah, but he's also going to talk some shit. Like, he's going to antagonize or provoke somebody.
Yeah,
is more what I was saying.
I like it. He's an instigator. That's fun.
I love it. I love it. It's like I said, he's the epitome of love to have him on your team, hate him if he's playing against you.
Hey, I love that he's got the whole belt to ass thing that he keeps putting out there. Like, that's great. That's just, they beat a team and he says belt to ass. Nice.
And I'm waiting for the right game, Drew, but we are going to tweet at. Should we just do it every game? Should we do it every live stream that we do after a game and just tweet at Pat Bev and see if he'll join the show?
I mean, yeah, we got to be careful though, because
or do we have? That's what I'm saying. Or do we pick and choose our spots? Like, we wait for that big Pat Bev game, because there's going to be a big Pat Bev, and that's the night that we tag him and say, "Hey, hit the link and join the show."
I think we could find a happy middle ground there, because I don't want to annoy the guy. I don't want to waste his. I don't
want to seem desperate. I don't want to seem this all sounds like we're asking a girl out to prom. I don't want to seem over anxious or desperate. You know what I mean? I don't want to feel like, oh, we need Pat Bev.
Well, it would help.
It would be great.
I want to know what he thinks about it. Does he have a hand? But no, don't put it back up there. Doc's D can go to bed for now, okay? Let it rest. Let Doc's D rest. No, but like I don't want to
Why
annoy him
has it
because
been? Has it lasted for 4 hours or longer? Sorry, go
dude,
ahead.
you saw yeah. If do more live streams if it lasts for more than 4 hours. So I don't want to be like those fans that called Kevin Durant a bitch and then he walked over to them and then the one guy like that was the saddest thing ever to me was when that guy was like, "Hey, I actually host the Dallas Mavericks podcast." And Katie was like, "The fuck out of here!" Like I don't want to do that. Like
you notice
Kevin Durant,
KD
absolute correct response.
Yeah, but you noticed that he was willing to entertain their bullshit until the guy started trying to tell him about his podcast. Like,
Well, also,
Kevin Durant,
like
he stood there and talked to them and went back and forth with them until the guy was like, "Hey, I have a podcast." Then he turned around and he's like, "I don't need to hear this shit." Just turned around and walked away from them.
dude, and that is the correct response. Also, it's like, why the fuck would you call someone like why would you call him a bitch? Like that's insane. And then like that lady was like, "Hey," and like she tried to like shake his fucking hand. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Can I just say something right now?
What?
I know you only did it. I know you only did it for 1 second, but you really nailed your impression of that lady. Of the
Yeah.
like it was uncanny. It was uncanny. I can't lie. You really got that down.
She looked like a rural aunt going, "Brah." Like that, like who the fuck does that? That was crazy. That was just that was a woman whose favorite restaurant is Applebee's, and she was like, "Come on, brother, like, what? Don't do that."
Applebee's is too nice. Whatever is in truck stops. I don't know what's in truck stops, but whatever that is.
Fucking Subway.
No, they have sit down restaurant like Shoney's. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I would make fun of now,
that lady looked like her favorite restaurant was Shoney's.
None of our friends that are from Iowa listen to this goddamn podcast. We had AJ. It doesn't matter. So you know what? It's like Casey's. How about that? You fucking Iowa pit. It's like Casey's. You Caitlin Clark liking dipshits. You got your gas station pizza. You like that? You like that?
For our Wisconsin audience. For our Wisconsin audience, it looked like my favorite restaurant was Quick Trip. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. Actually, my friend Rob shouts out the guy that actually does listen to this. Rob, whenever they get a new sandwich at Quick Trip, he does let me know if it's any good, and that makes me really sad.
Wait,
he has a family.
Quick Trip gets new sandwiches and like menu items. It's not just the same shit out there under the hot lamp every day.
No, they mix it up sometimes. They're like, "Oh, hey, you know what? We can make that chicken sandwich spicier, and maybe this time we'll put ranch on it." I
had no idea. I didn't know Quick Trip was switching up the menu from time to time.
Yeah, they they got an executive chef.
They're like the Vanguard.
It's certified letter graded meat.
Is it seasonal? Is Quick Trip's menu seasonal?
Maybe. It's not like a Wawa where they have like the. Have you ever been to a Wawa?
No, I've never been to a Wawa.
Oh yeah, dude. They have like a Thanksgiving sub, like a hoagie. That's like a. Yeah, it's got like cranberry sauce and shit on it. It's terrible. And it sits under they make it fresh, but I like to think it sits under a hot. People from Philadelphia are dirt. They're not listening to this. I'm just going in on the East Coast tonight. The Irish, they're East Coast.
Anyone else you want to offend before we wrap it up? Because I was about to wrap it up.
Yeah, I don't know what else. I don't know who else.
Catch Drew if he hasn't offended you already Friday and Saturday night at the Laughing Tap. You can catch me tonight, not doing stand-up, but I'll be on the Bart Winkler show on CBS Sports Radio at 11 p.m. I'm going to be joining my boy Bart. So check that out if you're up late and you like me and Bart together. That seems to be something people enjoy. We will be together on the airwaves at 11 p.m. And once again, Drew, Friday, Saturday, Laughing Tap. LaughingTap.com, MilwaukeeComedy.com to get your tickets. And please, please, please follow, subscribe, like, rate, review, tell a friend. What else can they do, Drew? You're a younger generation than I. What else can they do to grow this thing?
Well, and they can get the community working pretty hard on deciding if Docs D is still good in the comment section below. You're gonna want to
hit
that.
get in the comments about Docs D down there, right? Check out the D down there. Talk about the D that's down there. And let us know what you think of the show.
We're clipping the Docs D thing.
Yes, for sure. That will be the clip that we share later to let people know what brilliance we are producing here on the Ramie and Drew show. This has been episode 27 after a 111.99 Bucks win over the Charlotte Hornets. We will talk to you again next time on Ramie and Drew. Drew, I'll talk to you again. I don't know, dude. Have a good weekend if I don't talk to you before then.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Later, dude.